Hey guys, it's your boy Tommy with Tommy Ross Music. We're talking about blues shuffles today, 12 bar blues, and how the major scale notes relate to that concept. Um, and we're also going to be talking about turnarounds, okay? Here's what you might be able to do at the end of this lesson. Okay? So that last little thing I did there was a turnaround. Boom. E is the root note, okay? Now, before we talk about that shuffle in particular, let's get into the last lesson and kind of go over some things that are really important for the Nashville songwriting system, or just talking about the notes that you're going to be playing in a blues song. So this song focuses on the first, the fourth, and the fifth note of the major scale, okay? Now, that was in the key of E. Let's just go down to the key of G right now. Okay, and if you remember the last lesson, let's walk that major scale in the key of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's your major scale, okay? We're only going to be focusing on the first, the fourth, and the fifth, so quick reference is going to be right here. Those are your root notes that you're kind of focusing on, okay? Now, 12 bar blues consist of 12 measures, okay? And for starters in this shuffle, we're going to start the shuffle in G. Well, what's a shuffle? It's going to sound like this. To the fourth. Back to the first. To the fifth. To the fourth. To the first. Now here's where we throw in a turnaround. Okay? So it'd be like okay? That's kind of the basis of what we're going to be doing. Now, playing it in the key of E is much easier for most of the time because you're letting the nut do a lot of the work. But we'll learn the quick concept in the key of G, okay? Now, these are going to be like, you're kind of going to form a power chord, which is really just the first and the fifth note to start playing this shuffle. And you're really just chugging along these top two strings. And you want to introduce a little bit of a palm mute here where you're barely resting your palm on the bridge of the guitar. Okay? That's going to look like this. Now get ready to stretch this pinky. You're going to be stretching over 5 frets here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So a 5 fret stretch here in the key of G is going to be pretty strenuous on your hand. But now's the time to start breaking these concepts in. Okay? Get used to doing that. Now, we're not talking about the exact amount of measures you should be playing this yet. We're just getting your hand used to the blues shuffle. So, if this is the 1, shuffle in the key of G. Now go down a string to the 4th note of the scale and build a power chord off of that, and shuffle your pinky a whole step off of that 5th note. Go back up to the 1st and do the same thing. Now jump to the 5th note, put your perfect 5th from that 5th note, and then shuffle your pinky a whole step above that ring finger, back to the 4th, back to the 1st. Okay, now hopefully that's not too much information at once, because I want to get into changing this key for this shuffle. But right now we're in G, 4 measures. Go to the 4 now for 4 measures as well. 4 measures of the 1, 2 measures of the 5, 2 measures of the 4, and then you're gonna hit the 1, but now you basically have 2 measures of a turnaround. Okay, so what's a turnaround? Well, it's basically something that restarts your lick, or your riff, or your rhythm section, okay? It's going to basically loop the riff. Now, at the end of every turnaround, you typically jump to that 5th note. So if we're in the key of G, there's the 4th. So there's nothing like building tension with a 5th note and then resolving back to the 1st note in the song, which would be G major. Okay? There's the 5th note, there's the 4th, there's the 1st. Okay? So, one more time before we get into the turnaround, let's just see if you got this. We're going to do 4 measures of the 1. 4 measures of the 4. 4 measures of the 1. 2 measures of the 5. 2 of the 4. And hit that 1 just one time. Okay, now we're going to start the turnaround. So I think one of the simplest turnarounds you can do, okay, so you're going to start with this D-augmented shape, kind of, okay? We're going to slide it down. Classic 1, D-augmented shape. Middle finger, 7th fret, G string. Ring finger, 7th fret, high E string. And then index finger, 6th fret, B string. And you don't have to arpeggiate it, but I'm doing G string, high E string, B string. G string, high E string, B string. G string, high E string, B string. And then I form a major chord on the bottom 3 strings, and I go a half step down from the key that we're in. So I'll play it G flat or an F sharp, Then I'll slide it up to the G. Now, these are basically just the bottom 3 strings in that G major bar chord. So you could do this. One more time. Or, for the concept I was just showing you, I love starting a half step down from a note and kind of just begging, letting your ear beg to resolve. Okay, a half step up. So, one more time, you don't have to arpeggiate it, you can just lightly strum it down from this 7th fret. We're not done yet, okay? So, 7, 6, 5. Take your middle finger, put it on your G string 3rd fret. Index finger is going to bar across your B and E string 2nd fret. Let me get that on. Now take that shape that you just created and slide it up a half step. So now we're back at G. One more time. 7, 6, 5. Okay. So then we're going to walk from the 4 and use your middle finger for this. 4, not the 4th fret, but the 4th note in the G major scale. 4 to the 4 to the sharp 4 flat 5, and then the 5. Okay. Now use your middle finger for all of that. And then throw this chord. Okay. So it's going to be middle finger 5th fret, A string, index finger 4th fret, D string, ring finger 5th fret, G string, and pinky finger 5th fret, G string. Okay, it's kind of like that C sus4 shape. It's very bluesy. Okay. Try walking the blues using the 4 and 5 with those chords. But you can still root it. You can still root the chord. Still rooted on the 4. It's just not the proper major chord, okay? Okay. Back to the turnaround, it's and bam, that's going to build tension and beg your ear, or beg the listener to want to resolve back to the 1 or the. So boom, 4 measures of the 1, 4 measures of the 4. 4 measures of the 1, 2 of the 5, 2 of the 4. 1, hit the 1 one time and start the turnaround. the first two chords am I arpeggiating? And I strum the last augmented shape, and I also strum these major shapes that I slide up, this major shape that I slide up a half step. Now don't forget that 4, 4 sharp 5, or 4 sharp 4, flat 5, and then 5 walk up. In other words, as far as fret numbers goes, it's 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Throw that chord underneath it. Said it's kind of like that C sus4. Back to the 1. Okay? Yeah, I love the blues. I love the blues. You gotta know the blues. You got to know the blues. Well, that turnaround's too much for you to throw in right now with your jam. If you got these down, let me show you a more simple turnaround that'll kind of get you jamming right away, okay? So if we're in the key of G, come down here with me. And you can do this on the 3rd fret as well. What I'm going to be doing is I'm still walking that 4, 4 sharp 5, 5 chord, but we're doing a much more simple walk down at first, okay? So try it down here. Put your and if you want, you can use your index finger if that might help you, but I'll do middle finger first. Put your middle finger on the D string, 15th fret, and your pinky finger on the 15th string, or 15th fret, high E string. Okay, so this high E string is playing a G now, so it's keeping the root going, and then we walk down. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 15, 14, 13, 12. Notice I'm hybrid picking this. I'm using my pick and my finger because there's a 2-string gap that I'm having to do, okay? So, bam, come down to the, or excuse me. See how that 5, they always jump to that 5 before restarting the lick. So honestly, whatever you do in those 2 measures of the turnaround, as long as it sounds okay, it's considered a turnaround. And as long as you hit that 5 before you go back to that 1, you know, you kind of got the premise. So you can also, instead of walking down, you can also walk up. Another turnaround. And it's good to mix your turnarounds up. Don't play the same turnarounds. Well, you can, but it's always good to mix it. Now there's more complex ones, even more complex than the okay, but you want to start adding turnarounds to your bag of tricks or your arsenal, okay? Now the concept I wanted to get with you on is, okay, you can play it in the key of G all day. I Meaning, if you slide it up a half step or whole step, you can play it in the key of A now. Go down to the 4th, directly underneath. Back up to the 1st, same pattern, directly above. Now go to the 5th note, which is going to be E in this case. So notice I walked the 4th, the sharp 4, flat 5, and then the 5. Same pattern, but it's just a whole step up, as opposed to the key of G. All right. Now from the key of E, now in the key of E, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. You're going to be playing that shuffle, but your index is going to be doing the job that your ring and your pinky were. So your index and your ring now become your ring and your pinky because the nut is fretting the string. So in the key of A, the first note is E. Sorry, in the key of E, the first note is E, or the first note you're shuffling on. Just go down a set of strings, same concept, you're chugging from the A string now. So the 4th note in the key of E is A. Back up to the E now. And the 5th note is B. So you have to go back to that position again. That big stretch, rooted on the A string 2nd fret. But now we can go back to the 4, which is the easy. Now you don't have to hit that fancy B9 chord. Okay, you can hit just the regular B, the B major. So, and you also don't even have to do a turnaround. You can chug the 1, but jump to that 5 before you restart. Now I'm kind of palm muting a little bit. Here comes the 5, to the 4, relief. Woo. Back to the 1. Keep wanting to jump to the wrong 5, but or spent the last year Rocky Mountain Way, couldn't get much higher. So they start getting a little more complex, adding little things like that. They'll do little walk-ups. Instead of just shuffling this note on and off, they'll shuffle this note on, and they'll put another half step on. See? So walking from the 4 to the 4 sharp to the 5 in the key of E is a little different. You're going to strum the open A string. So it's going to be a 0, 1, 2 fret walk up on the A string. throw down that same chord shape that you were doing for the other 5 notes, okay? The other 5 chords. Or the proper, okay? So in the key of E is where it's at. At least the lick that I was doing earlier. You can look up backing tracks to learn how to lead over these things with the scales that you've learned. Okay, this is a major blues. So hopefully you're learning how to blend your major scale patterns into your minor scale patterns. Like you can play major scales in the minor scale shapes. For instance, in the key of G, or forget it, let's play it in the key of E. So I'll show you the difference between the minor pentatonic and the major scale and what they look and sound like. Okay, here'd be a minor pentatonic lick in the shape 1. Here's the major. Here's a minor lick right here. Here's a major lick. Minor pentatonic. Add the major notes. Okay. Come to shape 5. Pentatonic. And then here's shape 5. Bluesed up. So the ultimate level of this concept is to kind of not need a backing track. Okay? So like in the key of E, I'm gonna show you how I'll mix lead and rhythm and bass, okay? There's rhythm. Here comes the bass. Here's lead. Back to the rhythm. And then the 5th note. Lead. So if you know your minor pentatonic scale shapes in the key of E minor, you're gonna have a little advantage when it comes to lead. if you've memorized the 5 major scale patterns in the last video, then you're really going to be grooving on this. Now, I'm showing you the basic rhythm concepts right now, and it's always a lot to soak in. So, of course, I'm going to have some detailed videos on like some specific blues lead licks that are just killer, staples, and they should be staples in your arsenal. But that's all we're going to do for today, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever you got to do on any platform I'm on it. Tommy Ross Music. I just finished my 2nd book. Going to be wrapping up my 3rd, and I think we'll go ahead and release them as a series on the beginner guide to playing guitar and taking you from beginner to intermediate to advanced. Okay, eventually to expert. So, once again, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned.